This is about the call to social and political love come 2022 elections. We will dive into what the Catholic Church says about political involvement. How can we engage there? What exactly can we do for the upcoming 2022 elections? Let us link education and political commitment, how the two are tied together. Let us also redefine our understanding of citizenship. Let's not just look at the elections, but also continue to what's beyond it. Let's refer to what the church says. St. John Paul II in Evangelium Vitae advises us to be personal witnesses to society by doing volunteer work, by participating in social and political commitment. Now notice that the word and was used, not just or, which could mean that we can do away with the other. This is part of Christ's commitment to respect human life. Therefore, this is a Christian call. Now let us clarify that erroneously perceived idea that social commitment is not part of our sphere of Christian life. But because we are human beings, we also have to be committed to our stance in politics, which is a function of our faith commitment. Part of our role is to recover the nobleness of politics. Politics must be in the arena of spreading the common good. If politics is to spread the common good, then it is also spreading God's word, which is the task of the church. Let us all be educated about that. And that education must re-emphasize that social injustices, violations of rights, forms of poverty which is terrible, and the waste of human lives must not be favored. And this must be taught to all. As Pope Francis says, education must engage every level of society. With all due respect to institutions that give accreditations to schools, this education is not limited to that. This education is formation centered. It should always take on the social and spiritual dimensions. Thus, our education must give birth to a new culture. Catholic education is about conscience formation. But even though conscience formation also involves respecting one's choices, part of the mission is the formation of conscience. This is part of the obligation to society, specifically schools and parents. Schools and parents must help together to form in the consciences of young people consciences that are respecting human dignity, integrity of creation, and preferential option for the poor. And these could come from participating in programs that would develop one's social listening to the right of the poor, educate so that students have a deep sense of truth that will shape charity. We can ask ourselves why this poverty is happening. Maybe because we let politicians alone decide, dictate what will happen. Schools, families, various communities can help each other to raise issues so that we can demand instead of just waiting. for what political candidates promise us. Through this, we could demand from our public servants. And you voters could do this easily through social media, through email. You can tell directly our candidates what's important for you. Kapag madami kayo na may pare-parehas na hilig, na priorities, na values, tignan lang natin kung hindi makinig ang tumatakbo. Participate in the voting process in casting your vote. But our genuine role as citizens of this democracy does not stop there. Part of it is identifying the candidates who lack accountability or transparency, who have committed atrocities, who have committed negligence. That is a citizenship that is engaged. Examine yourselves, your leaders, your community. Recheck your values. What's important to you? Is freedom important to you? Or over order? How about human rights? Match these importance against what your leaders say. Values are guide points that can help you make decisions. Verify your sources. Where did you get that piece of information? Do not contribute to falsehood about candidates. Think systems. Think not just about yourself, but also about your community. For example, poverty. Rather than solving for your own wealth, think of how you can help others in society get out of poverty. Gather together and as a group, have an organized and continuous plan of action for whatever advocacy you have in mind. Build your skill set. Passion for an advocacy is not enough. You have to have the skills, the competence. Build a community of mentors. Build a community of mentors so that you don't start from scratch. Value intergeneration efforts. Demand better governance. We are a people who assign to others. We tell our leaders, sige, represent me. And we do this telling during election. We are the true leaders because we assign who our leaders would be. Assess Malacanang's Senate offices, House of Representatives, City Hall's performance, etc. through social media and through email. Tell them that you're watching and grading them. Participate in formal bodies. Join groups. Tell them about your advocacy. In other words, organize. Through our combined voices, we can make a better difference.